4. Now we're live. Thank you very much, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Comic. I am your host, Sean Fuller, and today we're sitting down with the truly creative voice in indie comics, Frederick Littles, the mind behind the upcoming series, Aeon Blaze. Now, Aeon Blaze isn't just another superhero story. It's a journey through new Titania, correct?
New
Um,
Titania,
as,
yes.
yeah, as city ancient shadows move behind neon lights, and one man, Mr. Turner, is chosen to be the internal flames and stand between chaos and divinity or destiny. Frederick's vision behind mediology, street culture, and futuristic design into something that feels powerful and new. Let's think about that. The Blaze is on Kickstarter, currently launched from October 14, and this is the perfect time for us to learn about the story, about the art, and behind the man behind the fire. Okay, let's get comfortable. Grab your guys' notebooks, and let's get into the story. All right. So let me start off by asking you, myself, Mr. Frederick. Welcome to Behind the Comic. For those meeting you for the first time, can you please introduce yourself and tell us about your background?
Yes, so I'm Frederick Littles, owner and founder of Wise Acre Comics. We've been doing this thing roughly since 2022 in a way. I did a lot of writing and everything back in 2020. So my flagship title, Magnus Yakuta, is one of our popular titles and everything. And so I'm definitely thrilled to be here and everything. We also have the House of Wise, which is our own internal imprint to where we publish other creators and everything too within the indie comic ecosystem.
Okay. So where are you from and what's kind of your grown-up story like?
So originally from Mississippi, Hazelhurst, Mississippi, joined the
Okay.
Air Force. Yeah, joined the Air Force at a young age. So spent 25 years in the Air Force, just recently retired.
Wait,
So
I was going to say you joined at 17 or 18. Did you need a parent's consent?
oh, no. I did a little bit of college and everything, Jackson State University.
Okay.
But definitely, join the Air Force, everything, to see the world, travel a little bit, get an education, things of that nature, stuff like that. And then after 25 years, decided to retire and join my family.
First of all, thank you for your service. As
Thank you.
someone that worked at the Department of Veterans Affairs, I'm always respectful when I come across the veterans. I make sure I give them their flowers.
Thank you.
Yeah. Was there a defining moment for you that made you decide to tell your story in this kind of format? What kind of made you want to tell this story?
Yeah, so a lot of it and everything came through a particular period in my life. So two periods of times. I'll give you a good period when Black Panther first came out. That kind of like changed everybody,
Yeah.
mindset on what could be. Uh, and
Yeah.
then and then in 2018, my mom passed away from cancer. And so
Mm,
to be to share her lens of how important family was to her, and be able to share her stories and everything through my eyes, and how I was able to deliver that to other people and everything. I felt that comics and everything was a good media to go down that path and everything. So, not of the to be able to fight through depression and try to really understand and handle that grief and everything from her loss. I felt the best way could be is to tell stories.
okay. So would you say growing up with your family, there was a lot of storytelling in there?
Oh, yeah, my we're down south and everything, so I heard quite a bit of everything from my uncles, my aunties, and stuff. My dad, my uncles, everything were comic kids, right, coming up and whatnot, both DC and Marvel. And then my brother and everything, he really was big on Image Spun, things and stuff like that as well. And so we got a chance to digest into quite a few. One of my favorites of everything is the Green Lantern series. John
Okay.
Stewart. I love again Spider-Man, Batman, old school Batman, everything too as well. So Black Panther, uh, Black Lightning, Luke Cage,
Mm-hmm.
all those characters and everything, right? It really had a profound impact on me coming up and whatnot through storytelling and stuff like that as well, to be able to figure out, my biggest draw from any comic standpoint was to not have handcuffs on when you wanted to tell your story, right? And so, I enjoy the big two. I still, go to my local comic stores, everything, and buy the books and stuff like that. But as a writer and creator, I love playing in my own playground in a way.
Okay. So, as I told you behind the stories, we'd like to talk about the background and getting to know the person behind the comic, right? And so, one of the questions that always kind of helped me kind of understand that is kind of like getting to know your early influencers, right? So, who were some of your earliest influence in terms of comic, film, real life figures? I know you just stopped touching a few characters, but I feel like what exposed you for the to comic world or even that genre in the first place?
So one of my biggest influences, everything was Dwayne McDuffie, right, from
Okay.
Milestone. I think his storytelling, he's just brilliant. The way he's able to deliver the story and everything, and the way he was able to tell it, and how he was able to translate to your life, right, and be able to see yourself in that character and everything. Which I think why Static was very important, and how it related to a lot of people and everything. Same thing for Icon. Those characters, everything really related to me, which I really really enjoyed. Which is kind of like in a way, I wanted to model my imprint, Wiser comes everything, kind of like Milestone and Image everything too at the same time, to where you had
Okay.
that independent voice coming up. I was a huge Spun fan, still is and everything, huge X-Men fan. So Jonathan Hickman, just one of my favorite writers, everything crazy and stuff. Uh, there's many out there that I
Okay.
definitely enjoy, but one of my top of my list, everything is Dwayne McDuffie.
Okay. So how much of your own life environment you find into your creative work? Like for example, you said you're ex-military, right? Air
Yes,
Force. I'm assuming you got deployed a couple places.
yes.
So how much of that kind of is reflective in kind of your creative arts? How much of that you just bring into your creative world when you're kind of doing stuff?
Well, certain stories, everything will have, that those experiences and stuff like Frontline, one of the
Hmm.
newest books, everything I'm writing about right now, has a lot of my military experiences and everything in there from my time in military. A lot of times and stuff, I bridge, especially starting with Magnus Jakuda, everything, I bridge African mythology, that lore, the European
Hmm.
mythology, everything into my stories. You know, one thing about my mom was she created this connected tissue, this environment of every kid was really her kid and everything in a way. She took care of them and everything, no matter what. She made sure they didn't go hungry. She made sure, hey, look, if you got cold, everything, they had a jacket to wear and everything too. And so when I talk about, from a family dynamic, when it comes to comic books and stuff like that, you would see a lot of family in my stories because that's how I came in a
Okay.
close knit family.
Okay. This actually, if you don't mind, because I like to give people your space, but it's like I feel like there's especially losing the monarch of your mom as it was, there's a lot of family that could be tied there in terms of growing up in, because to me it sounds like your house like the hub, right? Your house was
Mhm.
like where everyone came to, they interact, you get to meet, you get to talk to a lot of people.
Mhm.
I wasn't I'm not sure if it's like people your age group specifically, like in a church environment versus like a community environment, and how that kind of shape your view in terms of not just family but giving back to your immediate, giving back in terms of being a military person, because that's one way of giving back to your community. There's a lot of stuff that focus there, and this is gonna be my last question on that. So it's like, so but it's like when you think about family, especially when you think about your early days, what are some of the stuff that comes to mind that makes it be like, oh, I missed that, this was something that impacted me a lot?
Yeah, during my college years and everything, like I say, being a part of the Southern Movement of the South, Texas State University and everything, my fraternity years and stuff, and about and Phi Beta
What
Sigma
fraternity you're in?
champion. Phi
You're
Beta,
Sigma.
yes.
Okay, you're talking to a Sigma, you know that, right?
that that
Oh.
that that plays a that's played a huge part in everything, and in my upbringing and everything too, becoming a man and stuff like that as well. So I'm very big on servant leadership. I'm very big on giving back to the community and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I find ways to open doors for other artists, everything out there, creators and stuff that want to tell their story. And
Mm-hmm.
you probably hear this the last piece, everything when you ask me that question and whatnot. What is my mantra when it comes to uh, comic books and indie comics and stuff in a way? I always tell people your voice is your superpower. The only way,
Mm-hmm.
the most important person can tell their story is themselves. You're the best advocate, the best mouthpiece for your story. No one can tell your story better than you.
My grandma used to say something similar. My grandma used to say, my voice is my power," and especially when she said, "You're not going to quiet me down to take away my power."
Yeah,
Yeah, so that, hey, grandparents used to say some stuff, man. When you get older, it's like it kind of hits you different when you're old now. Be like, oh wait.
no, I see that. I see that in my dad and everything. Me and my dad talk quite a bit and everything too as well. He's always something chopping up and everything about comic books and stuff. His love of comic books, things that he did when he was a young kid and everything, a young man and stuff like that. For his younger brother, how they came up on comic books and stuff like that as well. They've been my biggest supporters uh, uh, on his journey. And like I say, if I ever get stuck writing a story, I'm always able to reach out to him to just listen and get guidance, and he's able to now get me back on track and everything, right? And
Oh, that
I think
sounds cool.
that's really important when it comes to having family and everything there, and he's my number one customer, right? He's my number one fan and everything away. So I'm
Is
always thinking about him and write these stories as well.
hey, I'm gonna be honest. People don't understand the value of just having a very a fan that's a family member, right? Someone that just like is that's like sees you. I'm like, yo, not I'm gonna pay for it, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
sit here and make sure I sit with you at the Comic Cons, at the different vacations that you need to go to, cover it for you, so that you get to go out and tell the story out.
Yeah.
For family members, I'm telling you right now, we love you. We always want to be around you, and please just don't drive her crazy, so we can always be with your personal life. Hey, no, for okay, so now we'll go get to the comics. Okay, so for new readers out here, what's the story of Aaron Blades in your own words? What is the heart of Elijah Turner's
Yep.
journey?
Elijah
What's
Turner.
the yeah.
So when I wrote this story thing, right, I wanted to bring into a modernized time to where you have this city called New Titania, to where it's more of a futuristic vibe and everything in a way, and they're coming into their own everything from again a mythical age, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of like the central hub. It's not really a real city, folks, but it's something I made up and everything in this story. But
I was gonna ask that because New Titania sounds very rich and layered. I'm trying to figure out
yeah,
where did that come from?
yeah,
Like,
there's the part about creating any companies, everything is the imagination.
mhm.
You let your imagination go. When I start writing this sort of thing, I just throwing everything at the wall, and and then finally it's stuck and everything. Like, you know what, I can run with that right there. And so I created this weird everything to where you see these hovercrafts and everything. Right, you get these different things, but you see different people walking around in different wears and everything, two different garments and stuff as well throughout the story. But what you see though with this character Elijah, he's grounded. He's
Mm,
like that community advocate and everything in a way. People know of him, but not of who he is. Uh, he he harness what we call the internal flame,
I
and
was gonna ask that. I was gonna
this
ask you what.
is this is when it comes back to me. My mom passing down her experiences of life and everything
Mm,
from her generation, everything of time, still continue to live no matter what. That flame is life itself, right? It never dims. When I look at my daughters and everything, I see my mom. I,
mm,
I reflect on her and everything in her life that she has passed down something trace wise everything from her life to my kids. And her legacy still lives to this day through them. And it will continue on in time. And so over the course of his life and everything, right, he goes back through different eras. A different version of himself has manifested everything through time. But he's the one has been chosen to carry that internal flame. And
mm,
there will be darkness that's out there, as you see in this world and everything today. There's always somebody out there that will try to dim your light,
Hmm.
and if you let it, they will prevail. And so he's that person that will combat that darkness at every turn. And so if you're a fan of Static, you're a fan of Black Panther, you're a fan of Moon Knight and everything, right? I think you would definitely enjoy this series. And we incorporate different mythologies and everything. We create our own pantheon of gods, deities, and stuff. That's part of this story. I won't ruin it. I won't ruin that little secret right there.
Hmm.
But if we get people behind us to support this comic book and everything, and gets funded, uh, we're continuing with the story of everything too. There's a lot more story to tell, and there's a lot of more cast of characters and everything to introduce as we continue to tell this story.
Uh, so if I was to try to summarize it, it's kind of like a unique mix of street level realism, and like a comics cosmic level methodology kind of thing.
Yes.
Um, how do you kind of balance the kind of tones there, right? Because you're talking about real world application of stuff we're seeing today, but you're talking it in a very fantasy kind of genre. Like you're talking about world building right now.
Mhm.
So how do you manage that?
So a lot of it, like I say, is lived experiences of what you go through in your life, and everything. Again, I can't walk in the shoes of everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can create these characters that walk in my shoes. And so I give you a little bit of taste and everything of my life. Like I said, through the military and everything, people I dealt with, experiences wise and stuff like that across the board. I give you a little bit of context, and everything into my world in a way. And then I give you a little bit of context into things that I have enjoyed reading within the comic book space. So, like I said, you see a little bit of Black Panther, Moon Knight, Green Lantern, all those things and stuff I've come to enjoy series wise, even Superman, everything too, all balanced into a story that I think will resonate with many people.
Okay. So the first thing I can take away right now when I come to think about this story, right, is that you spend a lot of time on the world and then you put your character in it to kind of as the focal point of the story.
Yep.
So that kind of so the way so, so now I have to ask a question. If you're a gamer or you're well, not a gamer, you could be a gamer, you could be a fan fiction writer or something. You come from a writing background, or when you kind of think about your comic, what world do you see it in when you see it in like the next phrase outside of a comic? If you think about outside of the comic, something else, how would you see it as an anime captions, as a um? It's because I feel like your entire story could have its own Bible to just explain what the hell is going on.
Yeah, a lot of stories I think I write, right? I create this this universe that my vision, you know, doing my travels and stuff, doing the military, being overseas and stuff, like deployments and everything, right? My last tour was in Italy, and Korea, and I got a chance to visit just a lot of museums and everything while I was over there,
Hmm.
and maybe see it in a different lens and stuff in a different light. I'm like, man, why don't we have that here in the states? Um, and so that question, everything I pose, everything, right, of having the different scenes and stuff, the different buildings and everything, right, contextual wise, come from those experiences, everything, right, of what I've seen in that lens, and to be able to utilize imagination to create those worlds. I talk about
Yeah.
I talk about world building, right? That's the biggest thing that's oftentimes missing from a comic book. We focus so much on the story. The other character, everything you see is actually the world that you put the characters, everything inside. That's missing.
And I would say, you're actually correct because when we kind of break it down, we kind of break it like character focused stories to arcs. We have world content version, and I forgot the next one, but it's like each of them kind of carries their own gravitas, right? And I understand why people, for example, if you look at solar leveling, right? Solar leveling has a lot in it in terms of from a world building standpoint all the way to the action of the character. But a lot of people feel like the character went lag because they're trying to be too focused on the actual main character development that the entire world or everybody else in it falls apart.
Yes.
And so when I think that's why a lot of people shy away from it because when they're trying to build this world and make it so grandstanding, it's very hard to put in those elements. Like I put in a statue over here that actually means something,
Yes.
or an Easter egg over here that actually people have to read 3 times to get it. Like those are the nuances. It's like that's what I would say. A very cultured writer are the only ones that I've seen able to pull off a like a grandstanding word, but still make the character feels like they have a place in there.
Yeah, I think my artists and everything. Sometimes they hate me because I give a lot of references and everything. I give a lot of information when it comes to creating these worlds, right? Because I tell them, like, look, I want environmentals in the backgrounds of my scenes and stuff, and certain panels and stuff like that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then, like I said, architecture wise, I use a lot of architecture and everything in my scenes when it comes to trying to create those pictures and stuff to deliver that message because there's a lot of Easter eggs that I don't convey into dialogue. You only get it into the
Mm-hmm.
visual. And so a lot of books and everything are sometimes over dialogue centric to where, we focus on the words versus the art. And you have to find a balance of both worlds, both medias and everything to where, hey, look, I can convey that just by having my artist or anything really convey that through his art versus me saying it in words. And so that way I don't have a lot of exposition or anything in my books and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I trust the reader to get it through either seeing it, you know, sitting down and visualizing everything themselves and picturing everything in their mind what it actually means to them. Everybody might see it a little bit differently in their own eyes versus my eyes, right? And that's the benefit of creativity and everything when it comes to being a person that really just build those worlds. Because one, they're going to ask a lot of questions. Why was that there? Good. I got the hook now.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're going to come back to for issue number two. I'm going to answer that question for you if you continue on with the series and everything, right? So it's all layered that way to be able to create those hooks and everything to continue with a series, an ongoing series at that.
Anyone, just so you know, when you start this, you better keep going, man, because we need because you have questions that needs to be answered, and we're not gonna let him get off by thinking there's gonna drop some hints in section one, and then section two be like, we go see if you like it or not. No, we want the full story. All right. So, do you have a creative team working with you? You kind of touch bases on what does the collaboration look like for you on a day to day?
Yeah. So when I finished the script and everything, uh, I was sent over to my editor to take a look at everything to make sure it makes sense for one thing, that the pace and everything is there, the flow is good and everything dialogue wise speaks to the reader, and then we try to tie it all together pretty much everything to the same time. Now sometimes I do it parallel too because I would have my editor read the script. I would send it over to my artist to start pages and stuff. Right, we start pencils and layouts, mainly to make sure we're able to see exactly what's going on and what's happening. And the reason why I do everything is to get the make sure the vision is right. And if the vision is not right, then the story is not going to be right. And so if I'm able to see pages up front, we're able to now make sure we're on the right page, right path. Everything when it comes to making sure we deliver the story the right way. And so
Hmm.
that's kind of my process. And then we, like I said, at the end of the day, uh, I was staggered approach. My artist could be still creating the pages and everything. I send it to my colorist, say, hey, look, let's go ahead and color the first five pages. Let me see what the colors and everything are going to look like to make sure if I need to go back, hey, artist, I need to add some half tones here and there, some blacks here and everything, to get that depth in certain images and stuff like that. It's a study, it's a case study, right? It's an
Hmm.
ongoing case study as you continue to create the perfect story. Now, no
I
story is perfect though.
No, and I say, when you're trying to go for as close to environment, the environment is a bit when you're doing an environment scene and an environment kind of dictates the kind of story that's going on in it. Those the tones, the lighting, the character depth goes a lot into kind of expressing the feeling of that moment, and I would say when you the mere fact that you can I can be like your creative process kind of like already hands on, I would say, but not only that, it's kind of like what I'm trying to see if I can grasp it. um I can see you have a lot of information dialogue going back, so it's kind of like you made sure the first iteration was good, so I'm assuming you guys had to be on point from day one,
Yes.
because it's going to be like because I was gonna ask later, but I'll probably ask it now. So, how many episodes you want to put into this series right now? Are you thinking like a 4 book catalog, or are you thinking about something along the lines like 24
So
episodes? What you looking at right now?
so if you notice everything, right, these books are a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
They're not smaller books. Everything we give you like 2 issues in one in a way. We wanted to give you a little bit more value, right? And so we did it for that reason right there
Yeah, I
to
know.
give you a bigger book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so right now uh, we have it to where we give you the first season, like to call it, which is the first 3 issues, which is really 6 issues in one setting and everything. And then from there, like I said, if the community and everything gets behind it and they want more and everything of it, there's we opportunity for spin-offs and everything too, to tell a little bit of prequels and everything that happened before Aeon Blaze. We can tell a little bit more of the deities and everything that came about. Like I said, I want to run that because it's part of the story and everything that comes up, the antagonist and everything in the story, how he came to be. Uh, so there's just the creative space that we're in of creating this lore, which is what we want to do and everything going forward to the future.
Okay. All right. So here's question before we switch gears again. So every comic, just I'm assuming, has these moments where the creative process tests you, right?
Mhm.
So in this comic, what was your biggest challenge so far building Aeon Blaze, and how did you overcome it?
So the biggest challenge, everything, like I said, every team is not the same. So Serge delivered everything. He's an artist and everything on this series. This is my first time working with Serge on this series and everything. And Serge, uh, script wise, I wrote the initial script and everything for him. It was I needed to give him a little bit more information.
Hmm.
And usually I give you a base, everything, which is kind of like the basic script and everything, to where hey, I just give you what I think is good enough for you to start and everything, pretty much. Well, Serge wanted a little bit more into the script, like references and stuff like that. And so I had to actually go back and get those references and everything for him to really convey what I was really, really looking for. And so he wanted more, instead of just a basic level of script, he wanted more of an in-depth script, which is, I started now writing my scripts and everything that way to give to artists and everything and to decipher and everything. And they having questions and stuff after the fact, we can go forward from there. And so he really, allowed me to say it was okay to give more information versus holding back the information. And so that was something I had to learn early on of crafting scripts and everything, to where as a writer, sometimes you want to give your artists room and freedom to
Mm-hmm.
express themselves. That sometimes you're holding back for that reason. And that's what he didn't want to do. He wanted to see it all up front, to where he was able to understand and comprehend exactly what I really wanted, versus me saying, hey, let's change this, let's add this, you know,
It's
that was a
yeah.
difference.
It's I kind of have the same process when I come to my development work, and it's kind of like you can't find the insight if the information is being hidden from you. So it's like give me everything and let me find the insights in it, and that way I can tell you, okay, I hear what you said here, versus let me expand what you were thinking along these lines. Because a lot of times it's like you might say something here that sounds good, but it doesn't focus on 2 chapters down later. And it's kind of like you catch that early if you just say, all right, what's the outline look like? What's the environment like? Where are these guys interacting at? And then as you see the entire story outline, then I can be like, all right, cool. If we do that here, it's going to be confusing over here. Let's fix that right now. And that's kind of what I've learned in the process of building a comic. That just making sure that you have everything and everyone knows everything, then they get to say, all right, as the creative person, I get to then put in my sprinkle
Yep, yep,
and these points, because at least that way I know I answer you, and it kind of reduces the back and forth that goes on. Honestly
yep.
speaking, that's the biggest issue. That's the biggest reason to do it. Uh, so all right, cool. Hey, we're having a lot of information thus far, and you talk about the creative process. How much people are on your team right now? You have like a just you and your artists, or is
So we have, like I said, it depends on the project and everything, right?
oh, oh, I
Uh,
forgot you have multiple projects. My
yeah,
bad, my
we have
bad.
we have multiple books and everything, and say, but my team is usually standardized across the board and everything, right? My creative
So,
team, my creative team consists of the main artist who does pencils and inks and everything for me.
mhm,
My colorist who does all of the colors and everything too. My letterer Those are my, my three primary, individuals and stuff like that as well. But then I have a editor, which I think is very, very important when it comes to making sure everything is right, piece together everything across the board before it goes out the door. And then oftentimes I'll commission for a secondary artist, which is my cover artist. And
Hmm.
so those things and stuff,
Completely different.
everything.
Yeah, guys, a completely different skill set. The one that does the cover art and the one that does the penciling and the other side, that's completely different skill set. Don't. I've learned that. I've learned. You think that this is the same thing? Nah, they're like two different beings. They're like, please don't give me those kind of work. Even if they even attempt it, they're like, they ain't trying to do it again.
And now I do have a philosophy thing to where I'm always big about the cover matching the inside of the artwork and everything too.
Hmm.
And so I'll often utilize and ask my main artist, hey, you want to do a cover for the book? And then I would do variant covers, everything too, with other individuals, everything out there when it comes to those covers. And so for like Aeon Blaze, we have three different covers for this book, but this is the first project I decided to go with the same artist for all of the covers.
Mm. And well, it does make stuff affordable. And if the person does good work, you don't see the person the reason for
Yes.
that. And look at this. And if you're looking at, because right now I have the cover up, I'm hoping you're seeing it. And it's like it's showing you a depth of skill between not just showing off strength, but also showing off the depth of each. Like I see the shadows are so well done, and but it does show that this guy's like he's overpowered for sure. I feel like he's a more of a Flash though than a Superman, but it's built like a Superman, which is weird.
Yeah, there's a mix of everything. Like I said, Flash is another one of the characters, everything that I read a lot of. I love just that color palette and everything of the gold trim and everything here. Give you that that Black Panther esque like look and
Hmm.
everything. But yes, you get a little bit of Superman and everything, taking everything there as well without the cape.
Yeah, and I
I
see
love
this.
characters and everything without capes.
I definitely see the especially when it comes to this ear right here. I'm African print kind of stuff right there. So I do see the culture reference in there as well. Um so we're gonna switch gears a bit, right? Before we get into the Kickstarter section. But before we do that, I'm gonna ask you for 5 minutes so I can pay some bills, okay? I don't even think I need that much, honestly. All right, so let's switch it up a bit. Let's go, guys. If you've been here enough, you're kind of tired of hearing me saying it, but I have to tell you about our sponsor, mycomic.ai. So mycomic.ai is all about doing one thing for comic book artists is to help them make from habits or hobbyists to business. Like if you want to move from being the indie comic book creator that's built your comic and you already have something to show, you like me, you got something to show, but you're trying to move from the presentation to the actual monetization of it. That's what mycomic.ai was built to do. It's about helping comic book creators monetize their comics. And our goal is simple. We want to start you from zero, getting to 1,000 books sold. So if you know you're a serious comic book artist that looking to make turn your comic from a book to a business, we're only looking for those that are serious. So hit us up, let us know that you're interested. We're currently doing people in the beta section right now. So if you're interested in learning how to do crowdfunding all the way to selling at cons and online sales and all that good stuff, let us know. All right. With all that said and done, we're going back into our story because guess what? There's more to learn about Blaze right now. Thank you very much. We have to sell some bill. We have to make some punches right now. We got to make them real, make them happy. Otherwise known as making myself
Nice,
happy.
nice.
But
Definitely
uh,
understand.
yeah, so I understand that you. Let's go into the second half of the caller section where we talk about your Kickstarter, right? So you got your Kickstarter launch in October 14th, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. So can the fans look forward to and what some of the rewards our goals you set for this campaign?
Yeah, so we got both digital and physical back, tiers and everything. We also got some
Actually,
clothing, t-shirts and everything too at the same time.
I'm mad. No, I'm mad about this, right? Because normally I would have pulled up your campaign and then if you want to see it. So, but let me do me a favor. I'm going to do you a solid. Send me the link in the comic book section right now, and what I'll do is I'll bring it up so everyone can see it while we're talking about it.
Let me put it up here.
Actually, yeah, pull it up and I'll let you share the screen. I want people to see that we're actually talking about what we're talking about right now, because we want to send them there. We want them to know where they're going.
Let me see if I can do it at the same time. I think I can't. On this screen, let me pull it up. Separate this one. Yeah, let me go back here. Show you all right. All right, let me see if I can do this.
You're
Share
fine.
screen.
You're fine. I'm trying to see if I have it somewhere.
You see? Do you see it there?
Oh, I did have it. My bad. I did have
You got it.
Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, you did it. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Put it back. No, I did it, and I opened it too. But I saw you put it right there. It's like, oh wait, I can just push it up here. Come back. Come, bring it back.
Let's see how I did that. Let me see.
Hey guys, be patient with us. You know, this is what happens when you do live. Weigh and polish.
All right. So here. Let's see if I can present this screen. All right. Can you see that?
Give me a second. It's loading. I can see that it's loading. There we go. Add it to stage. All right. So guys, here's a Kickstarter. Now tell us about it. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so normally I'm not sure if I can hear this or anything. I usually play the video first.
Okay.
So let's do that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to hear it, but I'll try it.
And very good morning. Okay, he went for the cinematic approach. You got to get it right, y'all.
Shout out to Jamil, the animator. He does our videos and everything for us. Does a heck of a job and everything for us as well.
All right, hey guys, if you're gonna do Kickstarters, there's a few stuff that's gonna hit better than others. Okay, videos never fails. All right, let's go through the backers. What are the backers gonna get for their hard-earned?
Okay, all right, so we're gonna come down here. Let's scroll down here. So the first tier we have the digital tier here. Mm-hmm. This is your PDF copy and everything of Aeon Blaze, which you'll receive. We also have the digital deluxe tier, which starts out at $8 here. It includes the digital PDF, but also the digital artwork. You get 3 different pieces of artwork and everything in digital fashion as part of the digital deluxe. Mm-hmm. We also got number 10, the $10 tier, which is the Blaze edition, which you will receive your first physical copy of issue number 1, as well as the digital PDF and the digital artwork for only $10. We proceed on down here. We have the Eternal Flame, which is at $15, where it includes the variant cover B of Aeon Blaze, which includes also the digital files as well. Then one of our most popular tiers here, which with the double heat, it includes both cover A and cover B of Aeon Blaze, which includes also the digital PDF and artwork. We also have the 3 Kings, which includes Aeon Blaze, Crisis Uncut issue number 1, as well as Magic Kuda number 1. This is our 3 flagship titles, series and everything that you'll be able to get
Mhm.
All a part of this campaign here. This is the only time we're going to offer all three books on this campaign in one setting. So this
Okay.
calls Three Kings for $30 here, but you also see you receive a free exclusive retro poster of, I like to call it the Red Hulk poster and everything for Aeon Blaze. And it'll be
Okay.
in a comic book size poster. We also have $35 here, which is exclusive to Kickstarter, which would be both covers here, cover A and B, the retro poster as well, and also a bookmark front and back for $35. We also have Bring the Heat, which will be your $50 tier, which includes the retro poster, the bookmark, digital files, and the cover A, as well as a Aeon Blaze t-shirt.
So here's the question. So these are digital and physical, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Keep going.
Then
Don't
we
let me stop. Don't let
then
me
we
stop
also
you.
have a new Titania tier, which includes the hat combo t-shirt wise. You get the poster bundle, which should be also physical posters, and the metal bookmark. We do a lot of metal art and everything part of our campaigns. This will include the metal artwork
Okay.
piece and everything right here for the metal bookmark, including covers A and B. And that's for $75. Then we also have a retailer tier, which is for retail outlets, everything out there. Get 12 copies of Aeon Blaze, both 6 copies of cover A and 6 copies of cover B, $400. And then for one of our largest tiers here, which is you can also pledge over time, which you can break up those payments up in 3 equal payments. You get the ultimate bundle, which includes cover A, cover B, also the exclusive glow in the dark cover size neon poster of cover B. You also get a hoodie, t-shirt, metal bookmark, and a hat, as well as the poster bundle as well for 175. Then
A lot of bundles. Mm-hmm.
last but not least, you get $250 bundle here, free to flame. This includes everything in every single bundle, including the Fear to Flame t-shirt, which means you can also go into your add-ons. These are add-ons here. So let's go to rewards. You go into add-ons, you can add on a lot of these extras here that you see.
Okay.
So we have
Okay, a mix and
also,
match. I got it. Got it.
yeah, so if you want the very digital book, you can add it, you can add on two as an add-on option there. Same thing for Crisis Uncut, Magnus #1. You can mix and match and you know, mix things you want to mix everything into your budget how you see fit.
All right. All right. So guys, there you have it. You have seen the Kickstarter. Go over there and support it. What can we say? It shows very well. I'm not. He has the Flame Hulk, for crying out loud. Can you just see that? Just get a Hulk poster and just put it right beside it. And then ask yourself the question. Does the Red
Actually,
Hulk
let me do this again. Let me pull this back up because I didn't show this part of it yet. But let them see the covers real quick here. Let's pull this back over.
you gonna bring me another cover? All right. We got
I'll
covers
bring.
today, guys.
So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna share with you the. This is if we hit a certain stretch goal and everything, we have it as an add-on option right now. But if
Mm-hmm.
we hit a stretch goal and whatnot, that means every physical backer will receive this cover for free. So let's pull this up so you can see it. I'm going to show you the actual campaign page. So scroll down here. You can see we have previews and everything of the artwork as well. Myself did all the lettering on this book here.
Mm-hmm.
And so these will be the covers right here. This is cover A. And this is cover B. And this is cover C. Now, if someone can either email you after watching this segment and everything and
They're gonna
tell
reach out
you
to you. Yeah, I got it.
or tell me or you and everything what movie does this cover come from, I would give them a free copy of a surprise book if they back the campaign. So this
Okay, I
cover this
can't
comes
participate, guys. I can't participate, but
yeah,
it's
this comes from a certain movie and everything. And a lot of people probably won't get it, but if they see the actual movie poster and everything, they'll probably put two and two together. But that is cover C, and this is also the gear and everything right here, the Fruit of Flame, the hoodie, the hat, and the retro poster right here for add-ons.
all right, guys. There you have it. We're talking about the campaign, and trust and believe, people. We do need your support, so please support these arts because guess what? That's how we keep making our art.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so I'm gonna ask a question though, from your perspectives. What makes Kickstarter such a powerful platform for indie creators today?
So, I kind of use it from a different lens, right? Some people
Mm-hmm.
use it from, crowdfunding to not only raise funds to help them produce their book.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we used to really build a community, but also print and ship our books most and everything because the books are pretty much already completely done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where once campaign is everything is over, we're able to get these books and everything to print production as soon as the funds and everything are released for us, and continue to really communicate with our community about the steps we're taking and everything, being transparent with them on the process. That's where we utilize the platform we're thinking for when it comes to Kickstarter campaigns.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um. So you're sorry. I'm trying to see if I can summarize it, and it went over my head a second. Uh. So you're not just thinking about it from the standpoint of raising capital for your company, but kind of are you thinking about it from the standpoint of building an audience or
Yes,
building a brand?
being able to build an audience and everything, right?
Okay.
From different locations and stuff, a part of the world or whatnot across the board to get that reach everything out there. We felt that Kickstarter is a great platform for us to do that. So be able to share our story with other people and everything across not only the states and everything, but also in England, in Italy, and places everything like that, the UK, France, and stuff like that. We were to give a better reach that way.
Your shipping costs are gonna be ridiculous.
Yes, that's why we get a lot of digital and everything, folks, and everything for international marketing and stuff like that for digital
Yeah.
backers.
And I would say this. When it comes to, so one of my guests said it before, and I think it was worth repeating, right? Because they said about talked about how Kickstarter is becoming like the is that the biggest comic book producing store right now because it's most of the stuff he sees moving on are being funded on Kickstarters or comic book
Yes.
products.
Mhm.
And I said, wow, really? Because I remember different platforms and I didn't realize this was Kickstarter's kind of bread and butter right now. So I guess that's why everyone I talk to these days, they're not saying we're getting an Indiegogo campaign. No, we're doing a Kickstarter because we want to get some money, and I
Yeah,
understand the difference.
yeah.
Um, so after the campaign, what's next for Aeon Blaze? Are your sequel spin-offs, a larger universe in the works? What are you looking at?
Yeah, so usually after every campaign, everything, right? Stuff has already been put into motion already. We already stood, in the production phase and everything of the next issue. But it depends on the community, right? The community get behind it or not. If it's a story that we continue to, go forth and everything with. So we kind of assess that after the campaign. Uh, but we kind of like rotate out every year how many books everything we're going to release. And so normally we release 3 books everything throughout the year. That's underneath my staple, Wiser Comics. So I would either, stagger certain releases and everything. And I also have the House of Wise, which we launch campaigns and everything on also on the Kickstarter platform. And so if you don't get another issue of Aeon Blaze this year or next year, it's because it's production queue is getting ready to keep on the calendar based off for the production where we at in production wise. So
That's an
every
interesting concept, honestly. Now that I think about it. So how many because all right, I'm gonna put on my business hat for a second. Give me a second. All right. So so you have how many comics do you currently guys publish in production? Like you guys your IP, you got how many books out? And from the
so
standpoint and the stand and from the standpoint of funding to pushing the book out, how are you kind of gauging how you do that?
so our production counter, well, our counter, our Kickstarter counter, everything consists of 12 books. We launch the campaign every single month. We have done so
Every
every
month.
month. We have done so every month this year. So we have produced multiple books, everything, and guess what? We have shipped every book in the same calendar year. So every book that has came out, everything so far, we're waiting on. Our last campaign was Hybrid Theory. That book's getting ready to get finished, everything, get ready to ship that book out in November. If this campaign funds everything, we'll get this book ready to go out in November, December timeframe. Then we got Dark Sentinel number one, number two, and also Liberty of Freedoms, the Matriarch first
So,
issue launching in December.
all right, so
So,
I just heard I just heard the military guy said this is how we build systems, right?
yes.
So I had to ask a question because a lot of people don't understand how long it took you to build this process.
This was, uh, I would say, 3 years assessing the platform, right, and trying to get a model in place that would be that prove a point to where it could be done. There's a stigma and everything that's within the indie community that says, if you produce a book, you have to wait a very, very long time to get that book into your hands. You might support
Mm,
the campaign, but you're waiting for that book to come out, right? And people get upset, they get frustrated. Oh, hey, look, I supported you, but I've yet to receive a product and everything, right? That's kind of like the negative stigma we see within in this space on this platform.
mm-hmm.
I made it to go to say, you know what? It can be done if the support and everything is there to where we're able to produce a book and get it out within 3 months into your hands to where you continue to come back for more by supporting us everything, right? Because we don't want you to wait on a book for a full year, 2 years, 3 years, and nothing has been produced, everything yet. That's not right. So
You're right.
we wanted to make sure, hey, let's show you how a model can run in a great way if we can do it the right way through your support, right? That we build that trust and you continue to support our projects going forward in the long run. And so my goal was, yes, it was a lofty goal to release a book every single month this year on a Kickstarter platform and show people it could be done in a multitude of fashions and everything to where I bring other creators and everything on board to publish their books, everything underneath the House of Wise imprint in that banner.
And I'm assuming before I go back because there's a lot of stuff you just said. There's a lot of gems here. I'm going to help. I'm going to help. I'm going to help shine some of them, right? But before, because there's a process because you said because I'm assuming that if you're dropping a book every month, these are not necessarily you creating all these books. You have other people helping creating the ideas and you just being the publishing house for that book. So people do get the opportunity to work with you in that capacity and that kind of helps the train keep moving, I should
Yeah,
say.
so the House of Wise consists of other creators and their IPs and their projects, everything, right?
Okay.
And we publish it underneath the Wise Acre Company's banner and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So while they're creating their books, I'm still creating my books and everything too at the same time. And so
Mm.
what we do is we create a calendar and say, okay, I have 3 books. There might be a point of time where I can't put all 3 books in the calendar year to where I have to, hey, push it. So like Aeon Blaze really was scheduled for next year. Unfortunately, one of our projects, everything fell out the loop and everything to where I had to fill that hole because I made a statement of, hey, we're going to launch a campaign every single month this year. Uh, so I plugged it with Aeon Blaze because it was finished, everything, right? But that
Okay.
happens. So these are lessons learned, everything I continue to compile over time to continue to, adjust and adapt over time. But like I
I
said,
like
it's
that
going to be
model
done.
though. I do. Especially since you're kind of tying it to getting capital up front because running these because the model that you're talking about wouldn't work if you're doing stuff like webtoons like I do, for example. And you're subjected to the meeting the I call it the thresholds for fun for monetization. This way you kind of get your biggest causes out the way first, and then you can then monetize it against different platforms at that point. So this is a great idea, right? And I love it. And for people that don't understand, there's multiple ways you can get your comics done. I always say if you can't, either you're going to be the person that figured out yourself and build the entire ecosystem yourself, or you're going to work with someone that's already did it and they have a process because not everyone has a process. Some people have a process that you have to pay them, and other persons have a problem. We do a split equity deal. Depends on which one you're dealing with, and so just know that there's a way to get your story out there. And all I say is, whichever process you plan to go down, just sign up and just do the process right. And the mere fact that my guy got it down to 12 comics in 1 year. Hey, I heard that. Okay, I need. If you told me 4 comics in 1 year, and I'm like every 3 months he's dropping a book from Clark, I'd have been like, cool. I'd have been there. This would be me. But you said every month. I'm
Yes, every
like,
month. Every month.
that's
And
a
these,
dialed in system.
and these are great books and everything, right? But I have a high threshold of a bar and everything, right? So I
Mhm.
tell creators everything for me to publish their books, they have to be able to have the book 75% complete before we launch the campaign and everything.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so to me,
I
it
should
shows
have
that
that
you're
standard.
to me it shows that you believe in your story and you put in that much effort to
Hmm.
produce your story thing, right? To get your story out there. And it shows me as a publisher thing, hey, look, I'm gonna put that much more effort into your campaign because not only do you believe in your book, I believe in your book as well, right? Because not only my name, my logo on the front of that book, I make sure I put every single effort I possibly can everything to run ads to make sure that campaign everything is successful across the board. And so that's what I call it a house of family because that's what it is. It's a family.
So, yo, guys, what I tell you guys, every time I see it happen, I say, whatever influence your background is what influence your for. Like, he talks about family, he's going to be a Vin Diesel right now. Family. All right. So that good. I love I always like to tell people like there's a business. I just tell them my comic AI, right? We're all about the business side of this thing. So so and so no, we get to talk to the part I was looking forward to. All right, cool. You I hope you were ready for this, okay? Because so what advice would you give other creators who have been story burning inside them, right? Be sitting there for a while, but haven't taken the leap to start. What's your advice to those people?
So you just answered that pretty much. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go back to the notion of everything. Your voice is your superpower. No one can tell your story better than you and everything, right? The hardest part that I tell creators everything, I hear this often, is the fear, being afraid to take that first step. And that's going out there, finding the artist. If you can't write, finding the writer, co-writing everything across the board, and sharing your story with someone that can be able to bring it to life. I
Mm.
guarantee you, if you're able to see that first page
Mm.
of your story, that vision that's inside of your mind, your head, everything, your heart, that you want to share with the world, but you're just afraid to share it. But if you're able to see it, that goes a long way. So oftentimes I write a story and everything, right? I always get the first page. Tell my audience, hey, just give me a sample. You pick the page. I don't care what it is. You choose the page and let me see it because that's the extra motivation I need to see it through. Because once I start the process of everything, I don't stop.
So it's like a true bullet train, and I would say the same thing for me because when it comes to building comics, and even if I'm working with somebody as well, what I try to do is give them the cover page, right? Because the cover page kind of encapsulate what they were talking about, and sometimes I don't even know what it's going to look like until it comes out, and then when it comes out, you'd be like, "Yo, yo, this is dope! I want to talk about it." I know you sold on it, but because you saw the cover page, and it kind of helped. And here's the thing too, because because I've been working on 2 covers this year, right? Was it this year? Yeah. One of them I was flabbergasted when it came out. It was like good, and then the other one is like, this needs some work. And it's like just by able to see something, you kind of as the word when Mark Zuckerberg says like you kind of don't know until you start how it's gonna go. You don't know. You don't know if it can graze $1 million on comics. You don't know that until you start
Mhm.
working on making money with your comics. And so these are all processes, man. And as you said, learn your voice, share your voice, and make sure that everyone hears your voice. All right. So
Definitely.
now, so looking back on your journey so far, what has been your proudest creative moment?
My proudest moment has been be able to share this space with fellow creators and everything. They get a chance to meet, you know, this past, I want to say September at LA Comic Con. I've seen these individuals, everything. We did Zoom calls, but I never met them in person.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to see the House of Wise come together for the first time at a convention on that scale, brought things full circle and everything for me that, hey, look, no, this is why I started this journey, everything, to where I'm able to see the success and everything, all the crazy everything out there, and share this in this space, everything with them along the way. So be able to come and do this event with them and everything was a full circle moment for me that I was very proud of.
It's funny, and I want to tell people to understand what that means, right? Because what a lot of people don't understand is like it's cool to enjoy stuff digitally. It's cool. There's a difference when you're actually holding it. There's a difference when you're actually in person with the person that you just spent 3 months talking to. You like you can shake this hand, it's like, yo, you real, okay? You're like, even if it's just that moment was all you really needed to be like you touched someone's life for real.
Mm-hmm.
And so and what I'm realizing when I ask this question is a lot of people's proudest moments is always in person.
Yeah.
It's never online. So guys, that's what we get. I guarantee when you talk to any comic book creators, like it's one thing to know you have fans online. It's another thing when you meet them in person and they're actually telling you about your story. You'd be like,
and I have met some Kickstarter fans. I have met some Kickstarter fans, everything about the campaigns and stuff, and they're seeing me in person at the conventions, and they've just been amazed. And not to get a chance to sign books, everything from me. That this space is just
it hits different. It hits the. I remember when I saw the book, and it's like someone actually wants to buy my book, and I didn't have to. Yo, it hits different. Okay,
it does.
I didn't have to convince. I didn't have to convince. I was like, they don't care. Okay, so finally, where can people follow you and support your work?
So everyone can follow us on all of our social media channels and everything at Wise Acre Comics. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it, everything, right? Threads, everything out there is the same handle at Wise Acre Comics. And then you can go to our website, wiseacre.us, and you actually see, what we have built and everything to our online store, on website, everything across the board. You can learn a little bit more about our stories, where we're creating everything to across the board, everything as well. So again, wiseacre.us.
And everyone, I try to keep everything updated in the description below. So take a look, find his link, support him, check out his Kickstarter, check out his Instagram and Facebook. Hey, wherever it's at, it'll show your support. And let me be clear on that. Subscribe, okay? Subscribe. That's all the world knows that you support us. All right. So hey, Frederick, this has been a great conversation. I have to be honest. This is the first time I'm using these. It sounds completely different talking on these than it does. I already have. I can already tell that Aeon Blaze is going to be connected with a lot of people. It actually sounds like a really good story, and I like the visuals that you went with. To everyone watching, make sure to check out this Kickstarter. Follow Frederick Little on social media and keep supporting independent creators doing bold and original art. This is what Behind the Comics is all about. Real creators, real story, real passion behind every panel. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate everything support. This has been another episode of Behind the Comics. Where is my sound effects? Behind the Comics was hosted by me, Sean Fuller, creator of Apollo's Run, sponsored by mycomic.ai. And support us on Patreon and wherever else you get your stuff from. Okay, guys? I'm everywhere. And also hard to find. So thank you very much. We appreciate your support. And this is another great episode of Behind the Comics. Peace.